congratulations, Natalia. I mean, you're joining a new franchise. How does it feel?
It's a massive privilege. I absolutely loved the John Wick films from when they first came out. And I obviously didn't ever think that I would actually be part of them. And also, I think one of the things that makes me feel really happy is that I actually know the people that make these amazing movies, and they're just as lovely as one would expect or hope. They're amazing.
Well, with that said, you're opening up. What was the ambient to be in these scenes and rehearsing?
I mean, I think the reason I was really excited about doing it was my first introduction to Chad, which was just a Zoom meeting. And he was so lovely and wonderful that I felt I was in very safe hands. Because obviously when you're coming into a franchise that's A, established, and B, this big, it can be a bit daunting. But as soon as I met him, I was like, everything's going to be fine. It's going to be loads of fun, and it's going to be great, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I was right. He's lovely.
Can you talk a little bit about the scene where there's I not want to say too much of the film, the scene, but there's the arm stamp, I guess you can say.
Yes, that was really fun. I mean, I love working with prosthetics. I love anything like that where you there's a little bit extra, and actually being able to see like the level of talent from the makeup team as well, just like little bits and bobs that you're like, wow, just something a little bit out of the ordinary rather than just normal makeup. I loved her makeup in general as well. I love the way that the team designed Katia.
And she's so mysterious and kind of like hardcore. I don't know. How do you portray a character like that?
I think for me, the way I kind of found her was very much through the Russian. I had to learn Russian and I had to have a Russian accent, and that already gives a different thing. Like I speak 2 languages, I'm bilingual, and I know for a fact that I'm a different person. I'm not a completely different person, but there's just a different Nat, if that makes sense. There's a Spanish Nat and an English Nat. So finding a Russian Katia, it was really easy what was really helpful was actually having that language. It was a challenge, but it was really helpful, if that makes sense.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. How was it to grasp the accent?
Well, the accent, I've done Russian before, and I've also done a bit of Eastern European, which is a bit different, like Bosnian, but there's similarities. And actually the Russian teacher that Lionsgate really generously gave me for as many sessions as I wanted. He's a dude that has worked on the John Wick stuff before with previous people, because there's a lot of Russian. And he said that actually, especially the first lesson, is that your accent's much better than you think, because actually being bilingual means that I use my tongue in a different way compared to someone that just has one language. So I've got different movements, and that helped, apparently. That's what he said. Maybe he was just being nice, I don't know.
I want to believe it, because yo también soy bilingüe, so I think we have that other that
Yes, yeah. Yes, which they have in Russian, which yeah.
I think it helps. You're also a musician, so I'm curious to know your take on from watching the film. What was your feedback for the music that was used, especially the action scenes?
I can't. You know what? I honestly can't remember all of it, because I've seen it twice now, and I would recommend everyone watch this film twice, if not 3 times. I know at some point I'm going to watch all of them again, because I did that in 2020. I did it when I found out I got the job in 2021, and I'm sure in a couple of years I'll be like, I want to have a marathon. But it's so much to take in the first time you see it. It's epic on every single scale. So something like the music you might miss the first time. So that's why I recommend everyone watch it the first time in the cinema and the second time again at home, or many times at home, so you can pick up on all the amazing elements, like the music, like the costumes, like the sets, like some of the shots. There's a drone shot that I'm like, how did you do this? You're an actual genius, Chad. You're amazing. So I definitely recommend a repeat watching of the film.
So since you watched it twice, what was one of your favorite scenes?
For me, one of my favorite. Okay, for me, I loved the scene where I send Keanu to go and find the guy that killed my dad. And there's a scene where they're all playing poker. I loved that scene. And just before the big fight, I loved that. And it's really hard to pick a fight scene. But I loved the staircase scene at the end. I'm just like, I can't believe how much they push it. I think because it's the last one, they're bringing out all the stops, and it's just fantastic. So yeah,
that was a long scene that just didn't seem to end. It was like
ever.
Still
I mean, I actually started laughing. Like, it got to a point where I was like openly laughing because I was like, "This is." It's so ridiculously epic. Yeah. So that one.
One of the elements that I really enjoyed about the film was the cinematography. Not to mention, since you
Yes.
watched it several times, the scene where the take is from above.
Yeah, the drone.
Yes,
Yes, that's
that's
it.
impressive.
That's what I mean. I'm like, how did you do this? How the level of preparation and kind of timing, you know, with all these people that are doing action stuff and a drone and fire and acting. It's just like it's and a dog. You know what I mean? It's like it's all of it. It's very impressive. That's what I mean. So yeah, definitely watch it again to watch things like that.
Now you've done even you're international when it comes to your work. Like I mentioned before, the franchises. I mean, I vow to you. So what makes this project different?
This project in terms of the other films or
Yes, everything.
Okay. Well, to the other John Wick films, you mean, or to just general films?
Just general of your work.
I mean, like I said, every film has its own challenge and something else that you have to learn to do, whether it's an action shot in some things that you do, or sometimes where you are and where the location is, it can be very challenging. Like sometimes you're outside and it's raining the whole time. I mean, I would say this one, I mean, they do a lot of night shoots. I didn't have to do it, but I was at the beginning of the film. But I think that for people that work on it fully the whole time, that is something that's a bit different. That John Wick is like 90% all shot at night shoots. And that can, I think, over 4 months, 5 months, that can probably be very, very grueling.
Mm-hmm. And the question that everyone's asking, what was it like to work with Keanu Reeves?
He is as lovely as everyone says. He's very approachable. He's very calm. He's a nice calming presence. He's very sweet. Yeah. It was a pleasure.
Lovely. So anything you can talk about for any future projects?
Not really, unfortunately. I've got a film that I'm doing this summer in Spain, which is a second installment of a quite a good successful Netflix Spanish film that came out a few years ago, kind of thriller horror, which is quite exciting. And then I'm going to work again with one of my favorite directors in the entire world, who's like a personal friend now. I've done 2 films with him already, and his name is Carlos Marquez Marcet, and he's a Catalan director, and I think we're going to be doing our 3rd film this year together. If everything goes to plan, because you never know with filming, like, you know, sometimes it's yes and then it can, but fingers crossed. Yes,
fingers crossed for you. What about music?
Yeah, I've got some gigs this year. We've kind of pulled back on trying to do big tours because it's very hard to get schedules in line with acting and music, and I don't want to keep letting down fans or my band. So we're kind of doing a light summer, you know, some weekend fun gigs, some festivals that are fun, and and hopefully that will all go through.
Well, you keep it going, because so far you are doing phenomenal.
Thank you so much. You're very sweet. That's such love and tears.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, and congratulations. I mean, this is a big week.
Thank you. I know. Premiere tonight.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time again. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Suerte.